Today I'm going to show you how to make a fish piccata, which is so delicious, and you're going to love the sauce. And once you know how to make a fish piccata, you can make anything else piccata, like chicken or veal. Let's go. So I'm going to start with my olive oil and either shallots or onions. It seems odd to make the sauce in advance, but because we're cooking the fish in almond meal, we're not going to really be deglazing the pan, so let's have the sauce ready. I've got 3/4 of a cup of chicken stock here, and of course, if you're making my magic elixir, homemade chicken stock, it's going to make the sauce that much better. So I've reduced that about 3 minutes, and now I'm going to add capers. I'm going to add ghee or clarified butter. Do you have one of these little spatulas? Oh my gosh, I got it for Christmas, and it's like the greatest thing in the world. And stir. So I'm going to take some cold water, and then I'm going to take half a teaspoon of arrowroot, and I'm going to stir and make a little bit of what's called a slurry. And I'm going to add this to my sauce here and stir. It's going to thicken it just a tiny bit. I'm going to bring that to heat, and I'm going to turn it down, and I'm just going to put it aside and now do everything else. And what's great is when the fish is ready and warm to go, I'm going to have this fabulous sauce on the back burner. So I've got the super fine almond meal, and we're just going to dust it with it. I like to get it super fine, even finer. And so what I do is just put it through the food processor. So I've got cod here because that's what I could find today on sale. You can use so many different kinds of fish. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to salt and pepper on each side. So on the other side too. And of course, the cooking time is really going to depend on your fish. This is really a thick piece of cod today, but if you were doing halibut, it would be a lot thinner. So what I'm doing is a thin coating of olive oil, and that's going to help the dusting of almond meal stay on. And the thing you want to remember is, of course, we're not deep frying, we're not baking, we're just adding a dusting so that this can crisp up a little bit. You want to be sure to start with some very dry fish, by the way. Anyways, this is it. Looks very good. And when we get it on the stove, we've got to watch it because this has a tendency to brown very quickly. Here we are. Got that olive oil and the clarified butter. This is right now on medium high. I'm probably going to, once it comes up to heat here, I'm going to turn it down to medium because we don't want the almond meal to burn. So I flipped it. And now we're going to very carefully put it on a tray, and I'm going to put it in the oven under 200 degrees so that I can saute the next fish. So I'm keeping that fish warm at 200 degrees. I'm now going to take the piece because the greens are done, and we're going to eat. If you're doing 4 pieces of fish and the pan looks like this, what I would suggest is let's just wipe it out and start again because the almond meal does burn after this much time, and we'll add more olive oil and butter. Something important to know is the pan was hot initially, but I brought it down between medium, low, and medium because again, the almond meal is really sensitive and it burns easily. Okay, so it's tricky. I'm gonna get ready to flip it. Let's make sure we've got more oil that's over there. And then ever so gently flip. Oh, that looks perfect. And let's do the other one. I'm sort of a waste not, want not person. So what I do is put the stems together and then just cut them thin. And they're gonna actually be delicious sauteed up with the leaves, but they take a little bit longer, so I just do them first. So here's the leaf, and what we wanna do is cut it across the grain. You don't want giant pieces, but you don't want tiny pieces either, because they are gonna wilt up. I got a tablespoon of oil, and what I'm going to do is add the stems of the red chard, and I'm just going to cook them for probably a minute or so until I put the greens in. Okay, so those were on for about a minute. Now let me add the green leaves, and I'm going to stir around a little bit, and I'm probably going to add a tablespoon of coconut aminos. I love to use coconut aminos, and it's great when you don't want to add more oil. And you know you might want a little bit of flavor, and I'm going to add a couple of sprinkles of salt to this also. It's been cooking about 3 minutes. Stems about a minute, greens about 2 minutes. Of course, I've added the coconut aminos, and they look just perfect with a sprinkle of salt. Let's get this all plated up. So I'm going to put the greens over here. And what's nice about using the stems, I just love the idea of tip to tail using everything, is the stems make it just really colorful and beautiful. And then I've got my beautiful sauce, and I'm gonna pour this over. Finished product, simple to make, really delicious. Once you get it down, you're gonna make it again and again. It's my fish piccata with local greens and a fantastic sauce.